All right, welcome back. This will be part 3 in the Arduino interaction setup. Last video we discussed how to create the 3-button blink, so that's what is visible on the board at this point. So we're looking at the video display right now. So we set that up, we moved everything towards the top quarter of the board so that way we can fit all of our other interactions on the board at the same time. So this next one, I'm going to move over to my digital screen here. We're going to use the push button as our second example. And what I have open is my push button LED and my push button LED annotated. So if you go to download, see this back up here. If you go to download the button pop sensor zip file, unzip that, and then you'll get these files here. So what I've just opened up is the push button LED annotated. That's the image. And then if I went push button LED, the folder, I've went into Arduino file open and opened up that INO or PDE file. I think I've saved my file, so that's why it says INO instead of PDE. As default, it might say PDE. It'll eventually say the same thing. So let me just change my buttons and re-upload this so that we're not automatically starting with a board that works properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and upload this. This will remove out the code that the 3-button LED blink has. So what this means is when you're presenting this, you'll have to load the 3-button blink LED code, show that that's working, load your second interaction, in this case the push button LED, show that that's working. That stops the previous code from working, and then move forward into your third interaction. All right, so we're going to keep everything on the same board, but we're only going to load one code at one time. All right, so we're going to switch back to the video screen here of my physical board. And what we're going to do next is set up the push button. So I'm going to go back and review and look at my push button LED annotated image. And if you look at that image, you can see how this is set up. I'm just going to move everything up vertically on the board. All right, so now we'll move over to my visual display of the board. What we're going to do is try to stick with the kind of top third of my board right underneath my 3-button blink here for this. So what I need for my button press is an actual button, so it looks like kind of like a hex bug type thing. Okay, it presses down like a button. It's a very small button. I need an LED. There's my LED, and then I need 2 resistors. Okay, the visual example, the annotated image says you need one 1K resistor, which is this red line, and then one orange resistor, which is a 10K. It'll actually work with both being 1K or 10K, but that's the example image there. The next thing I need is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cables here. Okay, I still need my ground, so I'm going to leave my ground where it is on my board, but I'm going to be adding 4 more lines to this. All right, so we're going to use all yellow lines to keep it organized as much as we can. All right, so let's start with the LED bulb. Now one thing I'm going to do different than what the annotated image shows is I'm actually going to copy the way I did my LED bulb setup on the top 3 so it can work all together. If you just follow the annotated image, it's not going to work if you put everything on the same board together. So this is different than the annotated image, and I'll show that. So I'm going to copy what I did up here, just move a couple of lines down. My long anode line of my bulb is going to go, let's see, so it's 8 and 7 was the previous one, so we're going to skip down. Long line's going to go on line 11, short line on line 10. Okay. Red resistor, which is the 1K. Okay, that's going to go on the top line, and we'll repeat the same thing we did before. So line 10. Okay, you can kind of see that is horizontally on line 10 in between column 2 and 3. Okay, red goes towards the right. All right, we need one wire that's going to go to the board, and one wire that goes to the ground. So that way we're using the same ground line that goes to the board. All right, so we're going to follow this again. We're going to go to the ground. We're going to go to the horizontal side of line 10, okay, right there. And then that's going to go to the ground up here, the plus symbol. Okay, so only one ground line goes to your board. The rest of my ground lines will go to this plus symbol. Right, the second line that we need is going to be to the right pin. All right, so I'm going to come back over here on line 11 of the third column, right there, right underneath the resistor. And then the second side of that goes to, we'll skip down one, so this will go to 9. Okay, so 9 on the digital pin. Okay. All right, the next thing we need to do is put our button in. So our button is going to go just underneath that. I'm going to skip one line down, but the button goes in between column 2 and column 3. We want to make sure all of those pins are in there properly. Mine's not. Make sure that all goes in there. Might need to switch out my button to make sure this does work. There we go. So make sure that's flush. You can kind of see that. Should be horizontal with the board. It does click. So that is on, the pins are on 15 and 13. Or the inputs are on 15 and 13 horizontally. But that goes in between column 2 and column 3. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put our resistor in there. The orange is going to go up on my board. The top line of the resistor is going to go to the bottom line of where my button goes to. So we're going to put that right there. And we're going to try to do just 2 or 3 lines that we're skipping. So 1, 2, 3, 17. So this is on 15 for the top of the resistor, 17 for the bottom of the resistor. All right, so we need 3 lines here. I'm going to do my ground first, so we'll just do an orange one because I ran out of yellow. But I'm going to use a short orange one because I need my 2 longer yellow ones to reach to the Arduino board. So the ground goes horizontally on 17. We'll keep with what we did before. That's going to go up to the positive ground line. So 17 horizontally up to the ground red line there. Okay, we also need a digital pin for the button. So that's going to go on line 15. Okay. The bottom line of my button. And then the other side is going to go to pin 8. There we go. So my 2 yellows, I know that's my button press. Those are on 9 and 8. 9 is the bulb, 8 is the button. We'll need to know that later. The last one is we have to use our 5 volt over here. So the 5 volt line, we're going to use a longer yellow one. We're going to go to line 13. So that's this one right there, line 13. That's the same line as the top of the button. And then that's going to go all the way over here to where it says 5 volt. 5 volt. Yep, there we go. All right, so move it closer so maybe you can see that. I'll try to hold it still. Okay, so that's the visual setup of the button press. We do need to make a couple adjustments. The main adjustment was what the LED bulb was set up. So if you can kind of take a look at that. It's the LED setup that changes on this. All right, I'm gonna switch back to my digital screen. Okay, over here on the push button LED. If you don't have it loaded, then open that up. We did make adjustments, as I said. This changes on my board to match the way the bulb is set up on the 3-button blink one. This will not work if we combine all the code together. So we have to change it as I just showed with the bulb setup. the bottom section should look the exact same, or pretty much. All right, this is our push button LED code. You can read exactly what the entire length of code does. We need to know our pin, so our bulb is on 9 and our button is on 8. So button pin, we're going to change that to whatever that value says there to 8. LED pin to 9. And that's all you have to change with this one. All right. So to recap or review, we have changed our push button LED to the button pin to 8, which is what we put on our visual wires into, and then LED pin to 9. Let's go ahead and verify. Compile that sketch. Done compiling, and we'll upload. Done uploading. All right, let's go to our video display here, and if I look at my board now, everything should be working. If I come in here and press my button down, LED turns on. If I hold it down, LED's on. If I let go, LED's off. On and off. So that shows that this button press is working properly. We do have to make the small adjustments to the way the LED lines work, but it is going to work properly. So I'll hold it close so hopefully you can see the way all the pins work. I'll move these out of the way there. So now we have 2 that are set up properly. Now it's only going to run one code at one time. Right now the code for the button press is running and working properly. So next video we'll set up our 3rd interaction on the same board. And we have a lot of wires going on, but it'll all still work properly once we load the different codes on there.